fattest player. The legendary English goalkeeper William Falk, known affectionately as Fatty Falk, holds one of the most incredible records in the history of the beautiful game. During his career, which spanned the late 19th and early 20th centuries, this massive man saw his weight reportedly balloon up to a staggering 152 kilograms. That made the 1.93 metre shot stopper the heaviest professional footballer to ever grace the pitch, casting an imposing, almost comical shadow over his penalty area. Despite his truly gargantuan size, or perhaps even because of it, Falk was a formidable presence. He enjoyed a distinguished career with titans like Sheffield United and Chelsea, securing a First Division title in 1898. He was a force of nature. Stories persist that he once chased a referee off the field after a disputed goal, a feat which required some serious stamina for a man of his stature. In the modern game, while nobody approaches Falk's extreme, players like the incredible Brazilian striker Ronaldo famously battled weight issues, topping out at around 115 kilograms at his heaviest, yet still achieving World Cup glory. His sheer power and skill proved that sometimes a little extra ballast is just part of the magic. Shortest player. The title of the shortest professional footballer is widely held by Elton José Xavier Gomes, the diminutive Brazilian attacking midfielder who stands at 154 centimetres. Despite his stature, Gomes built a remarkable and geographically varied career spanning nearly 2 decades across multiple continents. Known for his incredible close control, low centre of gravity, and ability to navigate tight spaces, traits often compared to his childhood idol, Diego Maradona, Elton forged his reputation primarily in the Middle East. He earned the nickname Elton Arabia during his most successful spell with Saudi Arabian club Al Fateh. His time at Al Fateh was his career peak, where he played a pivotal role in leading the club to its first ever Saudi Professional League title in the 2012 to 2013 season. He followed this up by scoring the winning goal in the Saudi Super Cup. His longevity and technical skill allowed him to sustain a high-level career, moving between clubs in Brazil, Romania, and various Middle Eastern leagues until his retirement, proving that in football, unique talent and tenacity often matter more than physical size. Biggest blown lead, the most celebrated comeback in modern football history, particularly for a single game, is the 2005 UEFA Champions League final between Liverpool and AC Milan in Istanbul. AC Milan, featuring a legendary lineup with players like Maldini, Pirlo, and Shevchenko, delivered a stunning first half. Captain Paolo Maldini scored in the first minute, and Hernan Crespo added 2 more goals, sending Milan into the half-time break with an apparently insurmountable 3-0 lead. Commentators and fans believed the match was over, a routine victory for the Italian giants. However, Liverpool, led by their captain, Steven Gerrard, staged an unbelievable 6-minute comeback at the start of the second half. Gerrard scored in the 54th minute, followed by goals from Vladimir Šmicer in the 56th and Xabi Alonso in the 60th, remarkably levelling the score at 3-3. Despite Milan regaining their composure and having chances to win, most notably a double save by goalkeeper Jerzy Dudek in extra time, the match went to a penalty shootout. Liverpool won 3-2 on penalties, completing one of the most stunning and consequential blown leads in a major European final, forever earning the match the moniker, the Miracle of Istanbul. Fastest red card. The undisputed record for the fastest red card issued to a player in a professional football match is held by Serge Djehua. This infamous incident occurred in 2013 during a Greek second division game between his club, AEO Glyfadas, and Olympiakos Volou. Djehua was brought onto the pitch as a substitute late in the second half, with the hope that the Ivorian striker could spark a late rally for his team. However, his eagerly anticipated cameo lasted an astonishingly brief 3 seconds before the referee brandished the straight red card. As Djehua sprinted toward the centre circle to join the play, he committed a definitive off-the-ball foul, delivering an elbow or shove that made undeniable contact with an opposing player's face. The opponent immediately went down, and the referee, having witnessed the contact, instantly deemed the action to be violent conduct. This resulted in the instantaneous dismissal of the striker, leaving his teammates in disbelief. The swiftness of the sending off cemented Jehua's place in football history, earning him the unfortunate notoriety of having the shortest playing time for any red-carded player in professional competition. Player traded the most times. Nicolas Anelka holds the record for the most transfers between elite European clubs in history. He was permanently transferred a staggering 12 times and played for 12 different clubs across 6 major European nations, covering nearly every top league. Drafted from the PSG Youth Academy, Anelka started his elite career with a move to Arsenal in 1997. After 2 impactful seasons, he secured a blockbuster, world record fee trade to Real Madrid. This set the tone. He became a brilliant but fleeting presence everywhere he went. He was then traded back to Paris Saint-Germain, followed by a quick loan to Liverpool, before being traded to Manchester City in 2002. Over the next decade, Anelka was traded almost every 2 years, playing for Turkish giants Fenerbahce, Bolton Wanderers, and finally his most consistent spell at Chelsea, where he won the Premier League Golden Boot. But the true insanity of his journey lay in his final globe-spanning acts. First, there was the pioneering, high-profile switch to the Far East, landing in the Chinese Super League with Shanghai Shenhua in 2012. And then he completed the trifecta of a true global journeyman, heading to South Asia. In 2014, Anelka became a marquee star for Mumbai City FC in the high-voltage Indian Super League, even taking on the role of player manager. Worst team. The undisputed worst season in Premier League history belongs to Derby County during the 2007 to 2008 campaign. Their performance set multiple records for futility that remain unbroken, cementing their place as the benchmark for top-flight failure. Derby County finished the season with a pitiful total of just 11 points from 38 matches, achieving a solitary win against Newcastle United early in the season. Their overall record stood at 1 win, 8 draws, and a staggering 29 losses. This resulted in an abysmal winning percentage of just 2.6%. The club also set the record for the most goals conceded in a 38-game Premier League season with 89. Adding to the ignominy, they were relegated from the Premier League earlier than any other team, with 6 games still to play. The team had 3 different managers during the turbulent season, starting with Billy Davies and concluding with Paul Jewell, who oversaw the majority of the losses. Despite the collective struggle, striker Kenny Miller led the team in scoring with only 4 goals. The financial strain and the painful statistics from that year left an indelible mark on the club's history. It remains a stark reminder of the massive gulf in quality that can exist in the world's most competitive football league. Biggest half-time deficit. The record for one of the largest half-time deficits in international football was set during an extraordinary display of dominance by the Australia national team on April 11th, 2001. In a qualifying match for the 2002 FIFA World Cup, Australia faced the American Samoa national team. By the time the halftime whistle blew, Australia had already surged to an unprecedented 16-0 lead. The match's remarkably lopsided scoreline was largely due to American Samoa's logistical and eligibility issues, which forced the team to field a squad heavily reliant on inexperienced youth and junior players. Despite the disparity, the Australian players continued their offensive onslaught. The final result saw Australia win 31-0, setting the official world record for the largest victory in a senior international football match. While the final score often overshadows the midpoint, the 16-0 halftime deficit stands as the extreme benchmark for mid-match dominance in the history of competitive international football. Worst losing streak. In the English Premier League, Sunderland holds the unenviable record for the longest losing streak, an extraordinary run that spanned 2 separate seasons and totalled 20 consecutive defeats. This monumental losing run began at the end of the 2002 to 2003 season. The team, then managed by Mick McCarthy, suffered 15 straight losses to close out the campaign, finishing bottom of the table with a meagre 19 points and confirming their relegation from the top flight. They were historically poor, managing only 4 wins all season. However, the disastrous streak wasn't over. After 2 seasons in the Championship, Sunderland earned promotion back to the Premier League for the 2005 to 2006 season. Unfortunately for the club, their form immediately carried over, and they started their new top-flight campaign by losing their first 5 matches in a row. This extended the total streak to 20 losses, officially making it the longest consecutive losing run in Premier League history. The ignominious streak was finally broken in September 2005 with a 1-1 draw against West Bromwich Albion. Despite this small reprieve, the team's struggles continued, and they finished the 2005 to 2006 season with only 15 points, a new Premier League record for the fewest points in a 38-game season, and were relegated once again. Worst win percentage. Mark Crossley holds the unenviable record for the lowest personal win percentage in Premier League history, a statistic that tragically reflects his immense loyalty to struggling clubs. During his extended career as a veteran goalkeeper, Crossley's teams managed to secure a victory in just 52 games, while suffering 190 defeats across his 242 total appearances in the top flight. This left him with a win percentage of only 21%. The vast majority of his time was spent anchoring the Nottingham Forest side from 1992 to 2000, a period defined by multiple cycles of relegation and immediate promotion that severely depressed his overall record. Crossley also had later spells with Fulham and Southampton, where the team's struggles continued. Despite this mountain of losses, Crossley was consistently reliable and often spectacular between the sticks. He recorded dozens of clean sheets and was a standout individual performer. Yet no matter how well he performed in goal, his clubs consistently battled at the wrong end of the Premier League table. Slowest player. Per Mertesacker holds the crown for being the least pacey outfield player in recent top-flight European football. The towering German centre-back, a World Cup winner and an Arsenal legend, was famous not for his speed, but for his profound lack of it, a record of successful defiance against the modern need for raw athleticism. Fans affectionately nicknamed his laboured runs the Mertesacker Mile.
He's too slow.
Standing at an immense 1.98 metres tall, moved across the turf with the stately, unhurried grace of an ocean liner. To truly understand the Mertesacker paradox, consider this. While the fastest Premier League sprint tops out around 38 km per hour, Mertesacker's recorded peak was reportedly closer to 28 km per hour, a massive difference. Yet he anchored defences that secured 3 FA Cups because he didn't rely on a sudden burst of speed. His entire career was built on the superior hardware between his ears. He was a master of defensive positioning, reading the game like a grandmaster who famously stated, "I try to prevent the runs before they happen." The ultimate testament to this genius came in the 2017 FA Cup final. Having played barely a handful of minutes all season, he was thrust into the starting 11 against league champions Chelsea. Despite his rust and notorious pace deficit, Mertesacker delivered a flawless defensive clinic, positioning himself perfectly and organising the backline so dominantly that he effectively nullified Chelsea's speed merchants, securing an improbable victory. It was a performance that proved his career mantra: a brilliant football brain and colossal stature can, and often do, defeat raw athleticism in the beautiful game. Longest suspension. The name Eric Cantona remains synonymous with both brilliance and profound controversy, largely due to one of the longest suspensions ever issued for an on-field incident in football. On January 25th, 1995, while playing for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, Cantona was sent off. While walking towards the tunnel, a spectator, Matthew Simmons, directed abusive language at him from the stands. In a shocking moment of lost control, Cantona famously launched a kung fu kick at the fan before being restrained. The incident resulted in immediate global headlines and a severe disciplinary response. The Football Association handed Cantona a massive 9-month suspension from all football-related activity, alongside a substantial fine. The ban effectively ended his 1994-95 season and stripped United of their star player, though he did perform community service and faced a 2-week prison sentence. Cantona's suspension is still one of the most drastic penalties imposed for player-spectator misconduct in English football history, demonstrating the governing body's zero-tolerance policy towards violence. Most finals lost. Javier Mascherano holds the record for the most major club and international finals lost by any player. During his celebrated career with the Argentina national team and top European clubs, Mascherano appeared in 11 major finals, but only came away with the winner's medal in a small fraction of those appearances. That means he lost the remaining majority more than any other player in the history of the sport. The bulk of these defeats came with his national team. Mascherano was a fixture in the Argentine squad that lost the final of the 2014 FIFA World Cup to Germany. Crucially, he then anchored the midfield for the team that lost 3 consecutive Copa America finals, first in 2004 and 2007 against Brazil, and then the back-to-back defeats in 2015 and 2016, both against Chile. At the club level, the losing trend continued, even while playing for dominant teams. He was on the losing side in the 2007 Champions League final with Liverpool. Despite his record for final losses, Mascherano is recognised as a leader and a highly decorated player, having won the Champions League and multiple league titles with Barcelona. Most losses player, English defender Gareth Barry, holds one of the more unwanted records in Premier League history, the most defeats by a single player. Across an incredible career spanning over 2 decades, Barry made 653 appearances in England's top flight, representing clubs such as Aston Villa, Manchester City, Everton, and West Bromwich Albion. With an unparalleled number of games comes an unavoidable mix of highs and lows, and for Barry, that tally includes 266 defeats, the most by any player in Premier League history. While that number might sound harsh, it is less a critique of his ability and more a testament to his sheer durability and reliability. Barry was a regular starter from his teenage years deep into his 30s, often anchoring the midfield for teams that were not competing at the very top. Managers could always rely on his calmness on the ball and tactical intelligence. The defeats were simply a statistical consequence of being one of the most played footballers in Premier League history. Yet the defeats tell only half the story. Despite these losses, Barry also secured over 100 career wins with Aston Villa, claimed the FA Cup with Manchester City in 2011, and earned 53 caps for England. His record for most losses is football's perfect reminder of balance. The more you step onto the pitch, the more you encounter every side of the game, the victories, the heartbreaks, and the inevitable defeats that accompany a truly magnificent and enduring career. Most missed shots. When discussing missed chances, few players can rival the sheer volume of Cristiano Ronaldo. Over his remarkable and record-setting career, the simple statistic stands out. Ronaldo has officially recorded more missed shots than anyone in tracked professional football history. By 2024, his tally of attempts that did not find the net surpassed 3,000, a number that reflects his aggressive attacking mandate for clubs like Manchester United, Real Madrid, Juventus, and Al Nassr. However, like all great scorers, every miss came with persistence. For this high volume of shooting is precisely what enabled him to become football's all-time leading scorer, with over 870 official career goals. His willingness to unleash a shot from almost anywhere on the pitch, whether a thunderous long-range drive or a tight-angled volley, has defined his game, demanding he carry the constant responsibility of scoring against the world's best. While that many misses might seem like inefficiency, they truly tell the story of unparalleled ambition and longevity. Ronaldo's confidence to keep shooting, regardless of the previous outcome, is what separates elite goal scorers from spectators. Every chance missed was simply a recalibration for the next opportunity to strike, and few have converted more attempts into glory. Worst player record without a win. Few professional footballers have endured a tougher start to their top-flight career than Ben Brereton Diaz. The Chilean forward entered the Premier League with high hopes. Yet by the time the 2024-25 season was underway, he had played 20 league games without a single victory. That run broke the previous mark for most appearances in the division without tasting a win. During his 14 appearances on loan at Sheffield United, Brereton Diaz scored 6 goals, but still failed to be on the winning side. He suffered 10 losses and 4 draws in that spell. He then transferred to Southampton FC, only to continue the unwanted streak as the club struggled in the league. While a player's performance does not solely determine team results, the statistics highlight a rare degree of misfortune. A talented forward with goal contributions, who nonetheless found himself constantly on the losing side. His record stands as one of the most unusual and unenviable in Premier League history. Most missed penalties when it comes to the ultimate test of nerve from 12 yards. Few names stand out more than Lionel Messi. Over the course of his extraordinary career, Messi has shouldered the immense responsibility of taking well over 150 penalties for club and country, and in doing so, has recorded over 30 misses, placing him among the elite players with the highest total missed penalties in football history. From crucial Champions League semi-finals to World Cup matches, the record proves that even the greatest can falter from 12 yards out. Messi's penalty technique has long been a talking point. His calm, placement-based approach often contrasts sharply with the power-driven techniques of his peers. While this style is often masterful, goalkeepers have learned his habits, successfully anticipating his preference more than once. The devastating nature of these misses was perfectly encapsulated during the 2016 Copa America final against Chile, when his crucial shot flew agonisingly over the bar. That moment of heartache left him visibly devastated and briefly led him to retire from international football. Yet his penalty record reflects not weakness, but courage. Despite those misses, Messi's conversion rate still sits at a respectable figure, and he has successfully scored well over 120 penalties in total, an incredible number by any standard. His willingness to consistently step up and take responsibility in the game's most pressurised moments is the defining characteristic of this record. In football, penalties reveal more about nerve and leadership than technique, and while Messi may hold an unwanted record for the quantity of misses, he also remains one of the most trusted and legendary players ever to face that lonely walk to the spot. Soccer career. Player. When it comes to brief professional careers, few stories are as unusual as that of Oli Dia, often cited as the player with the shortest top-flight career in football history. In November 1996, Dia famously appeared for Southampton in the English Premier League for just 53 chaotic minutes on the pitch. The bizarre story behind this one appearance has become football legend. Dia managed to convince then Southampton manager Graham Souness that he was the cousin of the reigning FIFA World Player of the Year, George Weah, and that he had played for major European club Paris Saint-Germain. This claim was bolstered by a fraudulent phone call from George Weah. Desperate due to an injury crisis, Souness signed Dia on a short-term contract based purely on this audacious lie. Dia was placed on the bench for a league match against Leeds United. His moment arrived after only 32 minutes, when club legend Matt Letizia picked up an injury, forcing Dia onto the field as a substitute. It quickly became painfully clear that Dia was nowhere near Premier League standard. His performance was famously described by Letizia as watching Bambi on ice, characterised by heavy first touches, confused positioning, and wildly inaccurate passing. After less than an hour, Souness cut his losses and substituted Dia back off in the 85th minute, an incredible humiliation for the player and an admission of a colossal error by the manager. Dia was released from the club just 14 days into his contract and never played professional football at that level again. Ali Dia's brief 53-minute appearance remains one of the Premier League's most extraordinary tales of deception, earning him the infamous title of the player with the shortest, most farcical top-flight soccer career ever recorded. Most personal fouls. No player in modern football is more synonymous with fierce defending and constant boundary pushing than Sergio Ramos. His illustrious career is inextricably linked with a disciplinary record that places him at the very top of football's all-time charts for infractions. The Spanish defender holds the overall record for the most yellow cards received in the history of top-flight European football, accumulating nearly 300 bookings across all major competitions. His willingness to commit tactical fouls and his intense, uncompromising style also make him a leader in total fouls committed, while his red card total of approximately 30 is second only to Colombian midfielder Gerardo Bedoya's staggering 46. Ramos is the clear leader in major European leagues. This record is a direct result of his fiery presence on the pitch for Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain, where he was a master of the dark arts of defending. Yet, these numbers only tell half the story. Ramos's aggression was the engine of his success. It was the byproduct of a player who became a legendary captain, winning 4 Champions League titles with Real Madrid and conquering the World Cup and European Championships with Spain. His record reflects not just disciplinary lapses, but a relentless, win-at-all-costs intensity that cemented his status as one of football's ultimate warriors. Most games missed. One of the most injury-plagued careers in modern football belongs to Owen Hargreaves, whose time at the top was constantly interrupted by physical setbacks. Over the course of his career with Bayern Munich, Manchester United, and the English national team, Hargreaves missed well over 100 competitive matches due to recurring injuries, particularly chronic knee problems. At his peak, he was regarded as one of the most versatile midfielders in the world, capable of dominating both defensive and attacking phases, yet his availability was severely limited. Hargreaves's injuries began in Germany, but intensified after his transfer to Manchester United in 2007. Muscle tears, cartilage damage, and persistent knee issues sidelined him for months at a time, often forcing him to miss entire seasons. During the 2011-12 Premier League campaign, he played only a handful of matches, leaving United to adjust without one of their most talented midfielders. Despite these setbacks, Hargreaves' impact when fit was undeniable. He played key roles in Premier League titles, Champions League campaigns, and international tournaments like the 2006 World Cup. His story serves as both a cautionary tale about the fragility of a footballer's body and a testament to resilience, returning repeatedly to train and play at elite levels. Even though injuries prevented him from reaching his full potential, Hargreaves is remembered as a player whose brilliance shone whenever he stepped on the pitch. Worst season opener, player. On August 12th, 2017, Alexandre Pato experienced one of the most disastrous season openers in modern football. Playing for Tianjin Quanjian in the Chinese Super League, Pato had a game to forget. He took 10 shots on goal and failed to score or create any meaningful chances. Despite playing the full 90 minutes, his touches in the attacking third were miscontrolled, his passes misfired, and his decision-making was painfully off. The match ended in a 3-0 defeat for Tianjin, and Pato's ineffective performance drew heavy criticism from fans and media alike. Analysts noted that he became the first notable forward in the Chinese Super League era to have 0 shots on target in a full season opener while taking more than 8 attempts, a strikingly poor efficiency record for a player of his reputation. While Pato had previously dazzled at AC Milan and with the Brazilian national team, this opener was a reminder of how form and fitness can falter unexpectedly. His disastrous start became a talking point for pundits and supporters, illustrating that even highly skilled players can experience remarkably rough beginnings to a season.